Robert Baratheon is the king when Game of Thrones opens, but multiple great houses of Westeros overthrow King Aerys II Targaryen during Robert's rebellion. That raises questions about why Robert becomes the new ruler of the Seven Kingdoms afterward. The uprising that eventually defeats the Mad King is named after Robert, as he's one of the driving forces behind it. Although the great houses resent the Targaryens for conquering Westeros, Robert's outrage over Rhaegar's alleged kidnapping of Lyanna Stark sets the rebellion in motion. The deaths of Rickard and Brandon Stark also contribute to it, giving Ned Stark plenty of motivation to join Robert's fight against the crown. And other major players, like House Arryn and House Tully, get involved alongside Robert and Ned. The Lannisters join the fight later, but that wouldn't stop Tywin from seizing power if the opportunity arose. Several other characters could have attempted to replace King Aerys II after his death as well, including Ned himself. However, Robert Baratheon has a better claim to the Iron Throne for one ironic reason. Robert Baratheon's Targaryen bloodline and claim to the Iron Throne explained. Robert has Targaryen blood from his grandmother. Despite several great houses coming together to defeat the Mad King, Robert Baratheon has the strongest claim to the Iron Throne of all the lords on his side of Robert's rebellion. This is because he has Targaryen blood, an unexpected development when you consider his hatred of the Targaryens in Game of Thrones. Robert is a descendant of House Targaryen because of his grandmother, Rhael Targaryen. It's also rumored that his Targaryen ancestry dates back much further than that, with some reports claiming that Aegon the Conqueror and Lord Orys Baratheon were half-brothers. This would mean Robert's Targaryen roots go back centuries, though even his more traceable connection to Rhael gives him a better claim to the Iron Throne than Ned Stark or Jon Arryn. Both of them could have attempted to take the throne for themselves, but neither has Targaryen blood. And with the Targaryen dynasty lasting nearly 3 centuries before Robert's rebellion, his connection to the house may have put some of its allies and followers at ease. Of course, it's not the only thing that gave him an edge over Ned and Jon. Did Robert Baratheon having Targaryen blood really matter? It strengthened his claim, but so did defeating Rhaegar. King Robert Baratheon dying in Game of Thrones. Robert Baratheon having more Targaryen blood than Jon Arryn and Ned Stark certainly bolstered his claim to the Iron Throne, and this likely did factor into him becoming king. With Westeros placing such a heavy value on bloodlines and rightful claims, it worked in Robert's favor that his ancestry couldn't be contested as much as someone like Ned's. However, Robert also had other things going for him, and these strengths contributed to his rise to power as well. He proved himself an impressive leader and powerful warrior during Robert's rebellion, demonstrating the qualities of a king. Robert defeating Rhaegar Targaryen at the Battle of the Trident also won him support, further highlighting his ability on the battlefield. Robert received a lot of recognition for taking down Rhaegar personally, also essentially ending the war, and this convinced people to back him as the new king. Even Tywin Lannister decided to forge an alliance with Robert after this win, and Tywin's desire to gain something out of Robert's kingship couldn't have hurt his chances of being crowned either. Why Ned Stark couldn't have been king? He didn't have the claim and wouldn't have wanted the Iron Throne. In Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister questions why Ned Stark didn't claim the Iron Throne for himself when he took King's Landing for Robert. The most obvious answer to this question is that he couldn't have proven a strong claim. It was easier for people to back a Baratheon with Targaryen blood than a lord from the north whose customs would be very different from those of the people living in and around King's Landing. Additionally, Ned Stark has a lot in common with Jon Snow, and he probably wouldn't have wanted the Iron Throne. He gives no indication throughout Game of Thrones that he craves such power. In fact, Ned is even reluctant to become Robert's Hand of the King, though he accompanies him to King's Landing out of a sense of duty. But Ned didn't want to take the crown for himself, even if he would have been an honorable leader. And if Game of Thrones proves anything over its 8 seasons, it's that Westeros kings need more than honor to survive the job.